So with that, I'm going to introduce and pass it right over to Travis, and he's going to get us started. So go ahead, Travis, take it away.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that very much. And thank you for monitoring the chat. I really want to stress, again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for showing interest in our software. We really appreciate it. I do want to stress, I talk about this system all the time, and I can talk about it all day long. But I really want to focus today on making sure that we answer your specific questions as we go through this. So it's really important to us to hear your questions and to make sure that we get those answered in a way that helps you make your decision, right? Is this the right system for you or not? And that's kind of the point. So we really, really, really want you to submit those questions, and we want to take care of those for you. All right, with that being said, I'm going to dive right in. We're going to hit some of the highlights today and some of the really cool features. If you need me to go backwards, just hit that chat and we'll pause and go backwards and answer any questions. So very first thing, I'm logged in as an admin user. If you're an agent, you're going to see almost the exact same thing, just less options. So the controls and the interfaces for an agent user are basically the exact same, just with a couple less features than an admin user. So I'm logged in as an admin today. We're going to go right into the customer list. All the lists are going to look really similar. We have a pretty straightforward list. We have a search here, so I'm going to search for Jeffrey Draft. And you can see I just typed in the first 3 letters, and it's pretty quick. We can search for phone numbers, so 748, right? And there's my phone number. All of the lists for customers and leads and reservations and that kind of thing are going to be fairly similar in this feature. We also have an export feature, which is up here. And then the other thing I want to show you here is this customer tag. So if I want to tag my customers by interest level or things that they, trips that they want to go on, that kind of thing, I can come up here and say, who are my customers that like golf? I can check that and refresh, and then now I know who are my golf folks. The reason I'm showing you this feature is because we're getting ready to launch an email marketing campaign tool that will be inside our system. We're hopeful to launch that very soon. And you will be able to email market based on these tags. So that's why I'm bringing that up now and showing it to you. So let's dive into a customer. I'm going to show you just a couple things. We have our system is set up so that on the left-hand side, you have the basic information. On the right, we have tabs. And just a few things here. You can send forms to your customer. We have a lot of forms that are built out as an agency, as an admin user. You can build your own forms. We have a bunch of test ones set up here. But then once you send the forms by clicking the purple arrow, you can see when they were sent. You can also see if they were submitted, it looks like this, it's green. And if they were not submitted, it's going to look like this. You have the option to resend. If they've submitted it back, you can view it and download it in PDF if you like. So there's a lot of functionality here on the forms. We do track credit card information. You can build a form and send to your clients where the client will fill out their own credit card information, so you don't have to add it, or you can manually add it in here as well. We do have extra security around the credit cards, so we've taken a bunch of extra steps here as well. I'm going to go to the general notes, and this is where you'll put your customer tags in. So you can see Jeffrey Draft has 3 tags assigned to him, and it's really simple. You just check the box. Again, as an admin user, you can build your own tags for your agency. So every agency can have their own, which is really nice. I'm going to show you this travel history tab as well. This is where for Jeffrey, he's a client that's I've been using for testing for a long time. So he's our best client. He has a lot of leads. So these are reservations that can't be booked yet that he wants to go on. And then we have upcoming travel, and we have all this historical travel. And peppered throughout the system, we have these little check boxes here, little shortcuts, and you can navigate directly to that reservation from this screen, so you don't have to go back to the list and search for it. So that's some cool features there, is we have a lot of shortcuts through the system. I'm going to go back to just the main screen for Jeffrey Draft here, and if I want to build a reservation for Jeffrey, I'm on the phone with him and it's time to build a reservation, or he says, hey, I want to go on a trip in a couple of years. You're not ready to book it yet. You can create a lead. You can click these 3 little dots once you're inside the customer record, and you can you can click new lead or new reservation, and I'm going to do that now. It's going to take me right to a new reservation. It's going to put Jeffrey's name in here. So it just saves you several clicks. So there's a lot of places like that. Now that I'm in a reservation, I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple things while we're here. This is a new reservation, so there's no data in here yet, but you'll notice right away that I have the email address and I have the phone number for Jeffrey Draft, and I also have any of the special notes that I've typed in right here. So, and then I have a shortcut to go right back to the customer profile. So I don't have to go back to the customer profile if I just need to call Jeffrey. I'm going to go ahead and click on that shortcut, and I'm right back here on the customer side. So just a quick preview of navigating back and forth between a customer. This is an existing reservation. You notice I went to the history tab on the customer side, and I clicked on one of his reservations that was coming up, and now I'm right here in the reservation. Again, I have all of those details here that I need if I need to call him, all at my fingertips. So I wanted to try and keep it really easy. All right, I'm gonna go back to the list, and I want to talk about this invite new customer feature. The invite new customer feature is a very simple form, and you put the first name and the last name in and the email address, and you hit the invite button. This potential new customer is going to get, and they're going to get an email with a button, and you click on they're going to click on the button, and they can go enter all of their own information in, their name, address, nickname, birthday, anniversary. They can add their own family members, that kind of thing. So this is really handy if you are adding a lot of customer data in and you want the customer to help you add some of that stuff in. So any questions, Michelle?
No questions yet, but we did have a couple of people join in after you got started. So I just want to quickly welcome them for coming in and letting you know that at any time as Travis is talking, if you have any questions, please drop them down in chat. You can send them to the everyone chat, or if you just want to private send them to me. Don't private send them to Travis because he's busy doing the reading of or sharing his screen, so he won't see them, but I can pass them to him directly. So if you have anything as we go, please make sure that you put them in chat and let us know.
Fantastic. All right, is there any questions so far, Michelle?
Nope, you're good to go. Keep going.
All right, sounds good. So current reservations, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. The list again is very similar. You have this filter by status. At the top, I can filter by any one of my statuses. If I want to look at all my completed, I can check that box and refresh and see my completed reservations. And then you have a search box here. So same search box as before. Here's my Jeffrey Draft reservations. And click on one of those. This is the one I think we were just in. We have a ton of features here, and so I won't be able to go through all of them today. And if there's any questions, I can certainly circle back. But I'll show you some of the highlights here. We have our timeline task tab. In this particular case, this is I should go double check, this is a Disney cruise reservation. And so these tasks are auto-created. And again, each agency will be able to set this up on their own. We're going to give you a starter list. And this is going to auto-create itself, and it's going to auto-create the due dates based on the number of days before or after you do something. 1 second, I need to mute something. Sorry about that. All right, so the tasks, you can complete them from here, and you can see the priorities from here. You can see who completed them. It has the date and time and the employee or the agent that did the completion here. So you can add general tasks on the bottom here, and that's with this plus button. So you can add the general tasks. Let's see, what else? The travel with, this is important. So travel with is one of those things where if Jeffrey is going on multiple reservations under the same kind of umbrella trip, you can link those here. So you build multiple reservations, and then you're going to link them together, travel with this plus button. And once you do that, they're going to show up here. Again, we have shortcuts here, so you can get right to them. We have a little purple star that tells you that there is something linked. The other way that this is used a lot is if Jeffrey's traveling with other families or other couples. So there's multiple reservations, but it's the same, maybe it's 3 couples going on the same cruise. So you might have other customer names in here as well. And again, you can navigate to those reservations with this shortcut right here. Any questions so far on the travel with? I know I'm breezing through this very quickly.
There was a question on forms. Are the forms built out? Wait a minute, sorry. Are the forms built out, or when we sign up, do they need to build their own forms is basically the question. So someone has a trial period and there's no forms in there.
That's correct. So the forms are interesting. It's a very good question. Thank you for asking. We don't build your forms for you. Your forms, we can help you, and I will personally build your first form for you and kind of show you. But what we don't want to get into is the form content. Most forms have some sort of legal verbiage, and Vacation Creations just is not in the business of providing legal advice or legal language. And so that's really where we want to draw the line of what we can't help you with. But if you have a form in PDF or something like that, and you can't figure out how to build the forms, then we can certainly do that. There is a really great video that one of our users put together for us on building forms. I think it's about 3 or 4 minutes long, and it's fantastic. And what we tell folks is watch that video. If you still can't figure it out or you're still having problems, then we will go in and we will build a sample for you. So for that reason, we don't build the forms out for you, but we certainly can help you, and we will certainly make sure that you know how to do it. It's really, really pretty straightforward. So, and we're happy to help. Yeah, that's a good question. All right.
Excellent. That is it. The only other question is someone was asking if this recording will be available to send out to agents, and the answer to that is yes. So in a few days, we will upload it and then send you the link in an email so that you can share it to your agents as well. But there are a lot of those instructional kind of videos that Travis was talking about on our website as well. So you can see little snippets.
Yeah, I'm going to pause here, Michelle, and talk a little bit about training, right? So a lot of agency owners ask me when we do these type of things, hey, we're going to sign up, or we're thinking about signing up, and we've barely seen the system, right? We're just getting into it ourselves. How are we going to train our agents, right? Is there some training tools? And so what we've done is we've tried to make that as easy as possible. The training videos that are on our website are very short. I mean, I think the longest one is 5 or 6 minutes, and there's 15 or 20 of them on the website. And those are available now to anyone who wants to go watch them. And they're on individual topics. So if your agent or you can't figure out how to do something, and there's a 5-minute video or less on it, it's very quick. You watch it, now you know how to do it, and you can jump in and go do it. We also have a support feature, which I'm going to talk about at the very end of this call, or this lunch and learn, where we're going to answer any questions you have. There's no charge for any of that. But then in addition to that, we don't want you as an agency owner, decision maker, to have to feel like you're going to have to train your own agents, because again, it's brand new to you as well. And so once you sign up, then we can work out a mutual time and date where you can get most of your agents on a call, and then I will help you train your agents. And a lot of times I do most of the training, and then the admin users and the agent users just kind of listen in. And we do a one just like this, and you guys will see my screen, and we will work directly with answering your agents' questions after they've been in it for a week or so. And we always have, I just did one last night and then one the night before, and I enjoy them. I think they're fun. So anyway, that's a really good question. And I know it doesn't have anything to do with the functionality, but it is really important. If you're thinking about signing up and you're worried about that, I will help you train your team. And then we will answer all your questions, and then we will provide you access to videos. So hopefully that helps. All right. I'm going to keep going on reservations. Michelle, stop me if something else pops up. There's a bunch of tabs in here, but I'm going to skip over to this email actions tab. I think this is one of the coolest features in the system, and so I want to talk a little bit about it. The email actions, or the email activity, are emails that are set up. We call them email actions because they're going to go over and over again, where once the admin or agent user sets these emails up and turns them on, they're going to automatically send for every every time one of those types of reservations is booked. So for example, I want to send an email 90 days prior to check-in for every Disney cruise. And I just use Disney cruise because that's what we happen to be looking at. But I don't want to have to type that email every time. And I don't have to remember when 90 days is prior to check-in for every one of my reservations that I have booked. And so what you do as an admin user is you will set up the email, you will build the content of the email, and then you will say, I want this email to send at 5 p.m., 90 days prior to every Disney cruise. And you turn it on and save it. And then when any of you or your agents book a Disney cruise, such as this one, and you go to this email actions tab, you're going to see all the emails that are turned on for Disney cruise. And this particular one has already sent. We can see that the email has been sent. It's got a green check mark by it. It tells you when it was sent. This one wasn't sent on the scheduled date because I can send it early if I want to. And I was doing a demo on February 19th and I sent it early just so we could see what it looked like. But these two are scheduled. This one's scheduled on 5/10 and this one's scheduled on 7/16. As an agent or an admin user, once I book the reservation, these emails automatically attach themselves to the reservations because it already knows that this is Disney Cruise and that's the emails were turned on for that particular destination. And you don't have to do anything. Now, if you're an agent and for whatever reason, this particular email is not applicable to this particular client for this reservation, you can pause it. And so you do have some control. If you don't pause them, they're going to automatically go out. You don't have to do anything. It's just completely automated. And if you don't want one to go, then all you have to do is just click this tab and then hit pause. This is also a really nice place for you to go and just kind of see what's getting ready to go. Or if something has just been sent and the client tells you they haven't got it, you can resend it or tell them when it was sent because it does give you the date that it was sent. So any questions on this email feature? It's a really big feature. It can save you a lot of time if part of your process and procedure is to send these reminder emails. While I'm waiting for questions there, I want to give you another use case. Let's say you wanted to send a thank you note after every reservation. You can build an email content that has thank you, and maybe it's specific to Disney Cruise, and so you have a little Disney Cruise photo in the email, and then you can set it up to send, let's say, 2 days post checkout, and then it will know when the checkout date is because it has it right here, and then it'll automatically attach. And so in that particular case, it would send on, it would already know it needs to send on August 16th of 2021, and then you would see a fourth one here. And then the scheduled date would be August 16th in that particular example. Any questions about emails? It's a big feature.
No questions yet. We did have a couple more people join in, so I just want to welcome you guys and let you know that as Travis is talking, if there's more clarification that you need, please put it down in chat. If you don't want to chat to the whole group, you can just send it to me privately. That's completely fine. And someone had just mentioned that they just wanted to say thank you. The biggest concern for them was training agents. And
oh, great.
We totally get it. And we try to add those videos online, and we're trying to add more as we go. There's just only so much time in a day, and we're relying on some of our power users to help us create those so they make the most sense for everyone. But yeah, we hope to load more in there to really make it easier for you all.
Yeah, absolutely. Those videos are available right now to anybody. If you go to vacationcreations.com, which is where I think all of you came to sign up for this lunch and learn. So you've already been there. In the top of the screen, there is a menu and it says videos. And I think right now there's admin and agents, and feel free to look at both. And then again, that's available to the general public. Anybody can access that. We will be adding another section there relatively soon for our email marketing feature. So it'll have its own section. It's going to be, we're really excited about that feature, so I keep mentioning it. All right, I'm going to move on to leads. Leads, we do leads a little different here. And I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of the reason why we do it. So leads in a lot of places is, a lead would be a person and a new person typically. And what we ran into when we were designing this is that a lead really is designed for tracking potential and future revenue, right? Because every reservation you book is potential revenue. And a lead for us is a potential reservation, reservation that can't be booked yet, not necessarily a new client. So in the case that Jeffrey Giraffe, who's been with me for 10 years and travels a couple times a year, if he called me and said, I want to book something, and we couldn't book it yet for whatever reason, right? Maybe it was a cruise that's 5 years out and the schedule hasn't been released, or maybe it's they want to go to the next Olympics and we just don't have the information yet, or can't start booking things. In those particular cases, right, Jeffrey Giraffe is not a new customer, so you couldn't put him in a lead if leads were only new customers. But that reservation that he wants to book in the future is potential revenue for you. So in that particular case, we encourage you to put it in as a lead. It's just a reservation that can't be booked. It's just another one of your customers, whether they're new or old. The other thing that we encourage folks to use leads for is if you, and I know all of you probably unfortunately canceled a lot of reservations last year and even maybe earlier this year. Hopefully there's less now. But when you cancel something, if they want to go again, then if you put that in as a lead, right, maybe you can't book it yet, or you're not quite sure when the schedule is going to open back up or what the coronavirus situation is going to bring, then if you put it in as a lead, when it's time to book, and I'm going to give you an example here, I'm going to say, it's now time to book all of my 2021 Disney cruise. And I think the schedule's already out. You guys are already doing that. But for instance, if I canceled some last year, but I put them in as a lead if I knew they wanted to go again, I can type in 2021 DCL. And this is just what I came up with. You guys will come up with your own shorthand. And you'll notice that I've named my leads pretty consistently. And so just by typing this in, I can see all of my leads that want to go to Disney Cruise. In this particular case, Jeffrey Giraffe is one of them, and he's a customer of mine. He's been with me for a long time, but it's still a lead. I still know he wants to go, and that's still future revenue. So I can type in 2022. There's no 2022, but if I type in 2023, I know that Trent wants to go on a 2023 Disney cruise, and for whatever reason, I can't book it yet, but it's here. Excuse me. So I can find that as whenever I want to. So let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and click on this lead. It looks a lot like reservations. There's a reason for that. Once you book a lead, right, you take a lead and you convert it into a reservation. You're booking this thing now. We have under these three little dots, we have convert to reservation. If you click on this, it's going to do a whole bunch of things for you all at once. So you don't have to do it. It's going to convert the status of this one from active to converted. At the end of that, it's going to it's going to navigate you directly to a new reservation. And it's going to take all the information that's in this lead, and it's going to automatically convert it to or copy it over to that new reservation. So you don't have to, if you've typed it in here, you do not have to retype it. And then it's going to navigate you there. And then all you have to do at that point is just fill out the rest of the required fields or any other information that you want to about that reservation, and then click save on the reservation side, and then you're done. And if I go back to my current leads, then at that point, it would no longer show up under active. I'd have to find it under the converted. Any questions with that process? Any questions on leads?
No questions coming through yet, so you're doing a great job.
I guess. I'm not sure that I'm that good, but I appreciate that, Michelle. That's very nice of you. All right. Let's look at dashboards real fast. So from the agent perspective, they're going to have two dashboards. If you're an admin user, you're going to have four. I'm going to just show you a couple here. As an agent and as an admin, and in fact, the agent dashboard, which again, if you're an admin and you sell, you have one account, you don't have to log in twice. You're going to get this dashboard. There's four quadrants. Any one of these quadrants can be made full screen. And any one of all these quadrants are a little interactive. So down here, the total sales, you can hover over and see your total sales year over year. This is your commission checks. So if you're an agent, this is what you've been paid in the last 90 days. If I make this full screen, I get additional options. What have I been paid in the last 30 days? What about the last 180 days? So we have some options there. The upcoming reservations, I can make a full screen and see it a little bit better. And I can see that these are all the folks that are traveling. You can hover over each one. It's not meant to replace a calendar, but it's just kind of here to kind of show you who's traveling and kind of how they overlap, kind of plan your next few months that way and what the activity level might be like. This task list, I'm going to show you this on another screen. And so I'm going to go ahead and navigate over to my overall task dashboard. You'll notice that the top left-hand quadrant is exactly the same. And the low priority is here, and the medium priority is here, and then this is all tasks. Now, I have to apologize. We don't go in and clean this up on a regular basis. So, and it's a test account, it's not a real account. And so we don't check off all these. So all our tasks for the past due. If you're OCD like me, then this kind of drives you nuts a little bit. I apologize for that. But if I'm looking at this, and hopefully you don't have any past due tasks, but if I want to look at what's due in the next 2 weeks from my medium, I can click on this and it gives me those tasks. I can make this full screen. I can search this. So online, I can search for a client trends. I can delete from here. I can navigate to the reservation from here. That's what I want to do. I can check them off from here. And so this gives me a lot of opportunities. If you're a to-do list person, this is a really great place for you. I want to share a little story. I was doing a training for an agency last week, actually, and someone unmuted and said, hey, they were just trying to share something with the team. I had no idea people would do this, but they said they created a fake reservation, and then they put their personal to-do list in the fake reservation to-do list. And then it showed up on their dashboard for them. So they had consolidated their online or whatever other system they had. Get the milk or something, right? There's a bunch of them. And they literally had their personal checklist mixed in with these. And they named the reservation something so that they could see, the name of the task. And then if they did this, their reservation number had personal in it or something, so they could sort by that and then search by that as well. So just another interesting use case. I'd never seen that before, heard of that before, but it's certainly possible. So there's lots of things you can do with this. Any questions on the dashboards?
We have a question here, and this might be something we have to send elsewhere, but I'm going to ask it. What if we don't show anything in the upcoming reservations? I think this person is a current user, and it wasn't coming up in their upcoming reservations.
Is that on the dashboard, I'm guessing?
Let me check really quick.
Oh, I'm in the wrong dashboard. Here, maybe. This probably here, upcoming reservations.
Yes, they just said yes.
Yeah, so if you're not seeing your reservations show up here, I don't know what that is. I hit the support feature and email us. That way we can have all your information, and we'll log in and go look at that and figure it out. This is just the next 90 days. So if there's nothing in the next 90 days, it will be blank. But if you do have reservations, then we certainly will we'll take a look at that for you. Yeah.
Okay.
We've not gotten any.
They're gonna contact through support this afternoon. So that'll
Perfect.
work.
Yeah, we're happy to take a look at that. That's no problem. This is the first I've heard of that, but again, we don't see everything all the time. So yeah, if there's any issues, let us know for sure.
Awesome. And one other question, real quick: who sets the task's priority level?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm going to take you. This is why I'm logged in as an admin. I'm going to take you into the administration tool just a little bit, and I'm going to go to timeline tasks. So you guys can get a feel. If most of the folks in this call are admin users, this is something you'll see anyway. So I'm going to go to Disney, and I'm going to go to Disney Cruise, just because we've been doing that all day long. And a cruise sounds really nice to me. I don't know about you, Michelle, but that sounds kind of nice right now.
I believe I told you last time you weren't allowed to talk about Disney cruises on these.
I know. It's you might actually already have one scheduled. I don't know. I don't though. At any rate, once you filter, these are your tasks. As an admin user, these are the tasks. Now remember, we're going to give you a starter list of tasks. And this is different. We don't give you a starter list of forms. We don't give you a starter list of emails, because those are the things that you really need to create your own content. But the tasks, we had an agency years ago that basically gifted every new agency their task list. And they sold a lot of Disney and Universal and some of those types of things. And the tasks don't change a whole lot. So this may be a little stale because it's older, but it keeps most agencies from having to retype these from scratch. With that being said, though, if you don't like this list as an agency owner or an admin user of an agency, you can delete all of them, start from scratch. You can add one. You can edit them if you don't like them. So for this one in particular, I'm just going to click on this one. This one is a final payment. I assume that's probably pretty high priority, but all you have to do is go in and change it and save it. And then any reservation that is that is created after you make this change will get the new priority. You can change it so that the number of days is different. So instead of 120, you can make it 125 or 110. It's whatever you want to do. And then here's your before or after, and then you get to pick the type of date that we're triggering off of, essentially. So yeah, you can, as an admin user, you can edit your own task list for any destination in the entire system. And if we don't have it in here, that's just because it wasn't gifted to us. You can build your own, and you can build 100 of them for every destination if you really wanted to. Any questions with that? That's a really good question. I typically don't show that.
I always love this because I learn so much whenever I watch these.
Right.
And I'm
we
not
could both
even
be we could both be really bad travel agents if,
right.
with all the knowledge we've gained. Yeah, exactly. All right. Yeah, that's a really good question. I can go into more of the admin stuff as well. So I'm going to go into vendors now. Michelle, interrupt me if there's something else. I'm going to go through this really quickly. The vendor list is just a list of all the vendors that are in the system. Again, as an admin user, you can build your own vendor list. In fact, later today, I'm going to call a current user, and I'm going to go through editing that vendor list. There's a really great video on this as well. So you can add your own vendors and edit those. In this particular case, we just give you a list of all the ones that have been added. Again, we're going to give you a starter list. If you don't sell any of these, we can delete a bunch of them for you. But this basically gives the agents a place that they can go search for information. Now we're going to rely on the admin user to put whatever information you want in. So an admin user can edit this general notes list for each product or vendor, and the agents can search it. So if I, for instance, I book an Alaska Airlines vacation and I haven't done that before and I need the phone numbers, I can go in here and type in ALSK and type today, and then I can click on this, and then it's going to give me, hey, I can call Bob if I'm on the East Coast or the West Coast. Here's the website, et cetera, et cetera. So we just put some really simple data in here, but you can type out as much as you like. And again, your agents will be able to search this, and then you don't have to keep a Google Drive doc in the cloud, or they don't have to call you and bother you if you're the admin user. So yeah, just a repository, really simple.
Quick question for you while you're pausing. How many admins are there per account?
Yeah, so that's up to you. And so let me just touch on that a little bit. I'll answer that question and kind of talk a little bit about system users. So if you sign up, we're going to build an account. And if you're the agency owner or the first admin user, we're going to build you into the system. But then after that, you get to build your own team in after that. So this is not a system where your agents have to call us and then we have to add them. It's not a system where you have to wait on us to if you have an agent that leaves and you want to disable them. You have 100% control of your team inside the system as an admin user. Typically, the agency owners are admin users at all times. So if I go to administration and I go to system users, these are all the agents and admins in our test agency. So you can see we have a bunch of different folks in here, and then you can see we have different roles. We can do custom roles if you want to reach out to us. We can help you with that as well. So in this particular agency, we have a bunch of admins. We have some agencies that have 3 or 4 or 5 admins. A lot of agencies just have 1. There's a lot of folks that they have a partner, there's a business partner involved. And so the business partner, sometimes that may be a spouse, maybe the spouse does all the financials, and then the owner does, all the people type stuff. That's a really common thing. And so in that particular case, they may have 2 admins. So in that particular case, I'm just going to click on Ashley here. There's a role here, and you can change the role. Now you're only going to have 2 to start with, and if you want a 3rd one, we can work with you on that. But you can change people. So if you want to promote someone to admin, you can do that. It's just this, and then you hit save. It's that easy. Now, while we're here, I'm going to show you something else. If you want to, let's say Ashley is getting ready to leave your agency, and you want to lock her out, or maybe she hasn't paid you and you need to lock her out for whatever reason. It's as simple as changing this from gray to orange and then clicking save. Once I do that, Ashley will no longer be able to log in and no longer have access to the system. So you control that, not us. And that's, I think, one of the cool parts about the system is that you have complete control. Yep, that's a really good question.
Quick question for you, going back to vendors right quickly. On the vendor list, can agents update the vendor list, or is it only for admins to update and just the agents to use?
It's the second one. Admins can edit it and update it and search it, and then agents can only search it and view it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of times agencies will have, and we don't have any problems with this. Let's say you're an agency and you're brand new and you have that one agent that helps you out with a ton of things, right? Everyone has their right-hand person. Roberta is mine. So I don't know if Roberta's listening or not today, but she is. She does a lot of the work here. And so I want her to have the same access as me, especially at the beginning, right? So maybe you need someone to help you type out all the vendor notes. Maybe you need someone to help you build the forms. Maybe you need someone to help you build the emails. So in the first month or two that you're in the system, and I think, Michelle, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we still have a promotion right now where if you sign up now, you're gonna get your first month free anyway. So April is just paid for. But yeah, so that first month, just have them be an admin user and save them. Let them go help you build all the stuff that an admin needs to build out. And then when they're done with that, just go in and switch them back to agent and click save. And then that's it. You don't have to build another login and have all this other stuff. You can control that day to day if you like. Now, once they're set and once we're billing you, we don't like you to change them back and forth because we have different price points. But if you need them to help you for a day or two here or there, we don't really have any problems with that. So, yep, those are good questions. All right, I'll show you another kind of just fun thing that's really helpful for some agencies while we're here. I typically don't show this one, but if I'm in the system user and I go into the email settings on the system user, this is where you're going to be able to turn on, do you want this particular agent to get the reservation emails, which we talked about, those are those automated ones. Some agents don't want those emails to go on their behalf. And so in that particular case, you can turn them on or off. This is the marketing campaign settings one. This is a test account, so no one has access to this except for us and a couple other folks that are beta testing, but this is where you would turn on their marketing campaign status. So fairly soon you guys will see this. But this is what I was really going to show you now is task email settings. So if I'm an agent and I want to receive an email every morning at 7 a.m. That I get a list of my tasks that are due that day and past due, this is where I would turn it on. So as an admin user, I would log in. Ashley says, hey, I want my email at 7 a.m. I'm going to turn the enable daily tasks email on. It's the blue button. And then I can change the time. I can change it to 7 a.m. And then I want to make sure that I get the right time zone in here. So they're in the Arizona time zone maybe. And so then I can save this. And then tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., then Ashley at this email is going to get an email with her tasks that are due that day outside the system. So that's a feature that we've added not that long ago that was really popular with a couple of folks that kind of live off of that. They might not log in the morning, but they still want to see what's due that day. I'm going to turn this off because I don't know actually who has this email, if that's actually hers or not. All right. All right, let's see. What else can we go over? I'm going to go over a couple reports, and then I'm going to pause, and we'll have about 15 minutes left, and then I just want to answer questions the rest of the time. If there's no questions, I can jump back in. So there's a ton of reports here. We do build custom reports. So if the report that you need isn't on here, we can build custom reports for you. We're in the middle of designing a couple of those right now with a couple of agencies. So this list is going to include those because this is our test account. But a couple of reports I want to point out. The vendor report is probably the most detailed report we have. I'll click current year. And the vendor report is going to show me my products or vendors in green, and it's going to give me a total. And then here's my Disney total. And then within each one of those, my destinations are in the dark blue. So Disney Cruise would be a destination under Disney, obviously. And then I have a subtotal here. And then under each Disney Cruise, I have each ship name, and then the subtotals, and then each reservation underneath that. So this kind of lays out how our data is organized, and it gives you a subtotal at every level. So if I scroll down on the Disney section, you'll see here's my Disney World, here's my subtotal, and then each resort is underneath that. If I scroll down a little bit more, I'll see my tickets only, and I see my subtotal here. and then I go back to my next product, which in this case is entrance only in AM Resorts. So this is a really detailed report. This one goes off of check-in date. So this can be forward-looking too. So if I want to see next year, if I've already booked some stuff, then I can see those numbers as well, even though they haven't traveled, because this one goes off of check-in date. The upcoming commissions report is kind of a cool report. I think it's a little bit different. And you didn't pick a date range. This report is going to show you if you're an agent. Let me back up a second too, just so you know. I'm logged as an admin user, so I can see all the agents' data on this report. If I'm an agent level user, I would only see my own. So understand that we're logged in as admin. If Ashley logged in and she was an agent, she wouldn't be able to see the other agents on this report. But if I'm Ashley and I log in and I'm looking at my information, and I know today's the 24th, let's say the agency pays on the agents on the 25th of the month. So it's the day before I'm going to get a check from my agency. I want to know what that check's going to look like. I can go here, and this report's going to show me any reservation that has checked out. So the checkout date has passed, and I haven't been paid for it yet. And then we also put, if it has been remitted, then you're going to see the remittance checkbox here. And so in this particular case, there's only one that's been remitted, and there's a total down here, total remitted. So if the check is cut right now, then the agency's probably only going to pay her $100, unless more get remitted tonight, maybe, right? The other thing that this report will do is if I sort this by checkout date, which I can do just by clicking on the header, excuse me, it's going to show me all of the reservations that have traveled that I haven't been paid for yet. And then if there's not a green check mark by it, and the checkout date is really old, in this particular case, it's 3 years old, which I hope that no one is waiting 3 years for a commission from the vendor. In this particular case, though, you can see, hey, I have a couple old reservations that have not been remitted because there's no green check mark. And now, in this particular case, we're being reactive. But if you are doing this on a regular basis, you can be proactive about saying, hey, this is a little longer than normal. We need to make some phone calls. So you can keep track of what hasn't been remitted. And the agent and the admin users all have access to this information. So it helps you kind of figure out what money hasn't come in yet, which in a lot of cases, I would assume would be really helpful. So, all right. I'm going to go to, there's a ton of reports in here. I'm going to do this one, all reservations by date. So I'm just going to pick the next 90 days. You can pick your date range on the calendar, or you can pick it from our pre-pick here. I'm going to pick the next 90 days. And this just gives me checkout dates that are in the next 90 days. Just a really simple report. So that's a good example. And then let's see, let's do this one. This is an admin report, and I'm going to do last year. This is product sales by agent. So this gives me each of my agents, and it's going to tell me what they sold. So just a really simple, hey, Raylan sold this much in Disney, this much in Royal Caribbean, and it breaks it out into my destinations as well. And then another one, agent sales by product, same exact data. So let's click last year. And this particular one is going to tell me of the products. It's basically the same data, just reversed in organization. So let's go down here to Disney. Who in my organization in these check-in dates sold the most Disney? Well, I can see right away that Roberta sold the most Disney, Ashley sold the second most Disney, et cetera, et cetera. So if you had some sort of sales goals or contests, you could go in and see who's selling the most of what. So yeah, it's 12:45 now. We have about 15 minutes left. I'd love to just answer questions the rest of this time. If there are no questions, I can go in and just keep talking. I could talk all day. Michelle knows that. Yeah, any questions, Michelle?
There are not any questions. You have them all answered so far. So unless somebody wants to, we had a couple of people join in. So if you guys have questions, please put them in the chat here and we will get them to Travis. Or if you have something that's a little more in depth, that's hard to type, it's easier to explain, you can absolutely come off mic and off mute and ask away. So absolutely. If there's anyone that has a question, oh, wait, here one just came in. Can they see the agent view as well?
Yeah, so the agent view, I can't log out and log back in while I'm on the screen share because it'll expose some proprietary information. But what I will tell you is the agent view looks exactly the same. The only difference is the agent will not have administration. The agent will not have commissions. The agent will not have support. So those buttons will just be missing. And then if they click on dashboards, remember the agent only has 2 of the 4. So when the agent clicks on dashboards, they're only going to have 2 instead of 4. So it's literally the exact same thing. And we did that on purpose. So if your agent calls you with a question, you can see the exact same thing they're seeing. So it's literally the exact same thing, just fewer things to click on, basically. I'll give you another example. So if I go to reservations in my reservation list, I still have GEO in there. So in this particular case, the agent is going to see the exact same thing, but they will not have this filter by agent. So if I'm an admin user, these are all my agents. And so if I want to look at Dartha Vader's reservations, I can click Dartha Vader and I can hit refresh. And then I will see, as an admin user, I can see Dartha's reservations and click on them. But if I'm an agent, I wouldn't have this. But everything else is exactly the same. It's laid out the same. It works the same. The export is the same. The export will only export their reservations and not the whole agency's. So really, in a way, you are seeing the exact view the agents would see, just a few more buttons to click on. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
I believe there's also, if you go on to the website to the videos, we have admin videos and user videos too. That would show that same piece. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Now, if that's critical to you making your decision, I am more than happy to show you offline. I just need to log in before I share my screen. So yeah, if that's something you really need, just hit Michelle up and then Michelle will make a note. I'll call you and then I can do a screen share and just show you what it looks like. But it's exactly the same. Happy to do that for sure. Any other questions? That's a good one.
No other questions coming through.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you guys the commission section then. And again, please stop me. The last 10 minutes is really for you guys to ask me questions. As an admin user, you need to do a couple things. You'll need to remit and you'll need to pay your agents. And so I'm going to go through this very quickly. The commission remittance screen is just for remittance. It's not meant to pay anybody. So as you receive a remittance check from the vendor, whether it's paper or whether it's electronic, you're going to type in the reservation number of one of the reservations on that remittance check. So I'm just going to type in 12345 and I'm going to click search. Excuse me. And here is my, I typed in 13245. I can't type today. There is a reservation that matches that, so that works out pretty well. It's a Disney reservation, so here's my product. The check came from Disney. The last name on the reservation was this last name, Kraus, and the commission was $320.59, so it's perfect. Everything matches up. All I have to do at this point is click this toggle, set receipt. When I do that, it will move it down here into the received. And then this is your escrow account. This is what you have received but haven't paid your agents yet for. So some of this money is yours and some of this money is the agencies, I should say, and some of it is the agents. So that kind of gives you what your escrow account really should be. You have another reservation in the same check. So this time I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then here they are. I have a Burke reservation for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, let's do this one. It was the same check. It was Disney, right? And it was Burke. And let's say that the check was for $199.50 instead of 00 cents. And so in this particular case, I'm not going to remit it because the commission's not right. So I'm going to click this blue little box here, little luggage tag, our logo, and then I'm going to change this gross commission to $199.50. And I'm going to save. And without leaving the screen, now it matches perfectly. And now I can hit the receipt toggle. So that's the remittance section. It's pretty straightforward. You're just telling the system, you're telling Vacation Creations what you've received. Now, once it has that information, you can go over to the check writer screen. And I'm going to just do a very quick tutorial. There's a lot of information on the screen, but I'm going to show you the really important parts. So each agent is in green. So here's Ashley again, here's Raylan again, here's Roberta. And each row on here is a reservation. And if it shows up on this screen, then it's ready to be paid out. If it doesn't show up, it's not ready to be paid out. So you can't pay an agent for something that you shouldn't be paying them for. Reasons that it won't show up are if you've already paid them for it. We haven't met too many people that like to double pay. And then number two, if it hasn't been remitted. I've not met a single agency yet that pays before remittance. So we built the system to not allow reservations to show here unless they've been remitted, which is that step I just showed you. And then the third rule, which is flexible, and there is a workaround around it, is if the checkout date has passed, it will automatically show up here. Now we understand that for tickets only, and sometimes less people now do this than before COVID, but Disney Cruise paid, I think, on final payment. So sometimes those were paid out early, and some folks did that. But if it's paid out prior to checkout, there is a manual step to get it to show up. But if you don't pay until after checkout, then this screen will automate that for you. And so you can remit something this month, but if it doesn't check out for 6 months, it won't show up here. And then 6 months from now, that reservation will just automatically appear here when you log in the first time for after the checkout date. And that's all automated. Once you are comfortable, you've checked what you're paying them, which is highlighted in green. We have the commission right next to it. And then we can double check their profile commission over here. I can check the box, click pay agent. It tells me how much to pay them. It auto puts today's date in there, which you can change if you need to. And then you'll put the check number in. A lot of people will put their bank confirmation number in here. They'll put, if they're handwriting checks, they put the check number in. Some people will make up a little code that's unique. And then once you save it, once you save this, and I'm not going to do it now because I use this for another demo later tonight. Once you save it, this row will disappear because you've already paid for it. And when that happens, this particular row will show up on another report that the agents have access to, where then they can see essentially their pay history. And I think it's called check history, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, check history. And so once you save it on the check writer screen, then it will show up on the check history screen, and the agents have instant access to it. So you don't have to email them your pay. It gives them all the math, it gives them the check number, it gives them the date, it gives them the total amount of the check. Now, if I want to pay all my agents at once, this is something we added on. So I'm going to pay Ashley, Raylan, and Roberta for all hers. And then there's several here. And so I don't know what this math is. I don't want to do it in my head. I can click pay all agents, and then it does all the math for me and puts them all in here. I put the check numbers in, hit save, and then they all disappear. They all show up on check history report for the agents to see. And that's it. And then you're done. So now it's important to note that we're not moving any money here. We're just doing the calculations and then keeping a record of it for you. You still have to put this in your bank bill pay system or your ACH system, or you still have to write your checks. But that is in a nutshell. We don't always get a lot of time to show that off. So that is the check writer and the remittance process. All right, I'm going to pause again. Questions?
No, we are good on questions. No one has asked anything. Does anyone need to come off mute to ask their question? Now's your chance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just really thank you guys for coming. I know we're getting close to end of time, and we want to thank you for spending time with us and seeing how the system works and seeing how it could help you with your business. So we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very much appreciate your interest. We're here to help. I will end on this then. If there's more questions before 1 o'clock Central Time, I'm happy to answer them. So please continue to interrupt if you have something. I'm going to end it though, if there's nothing else, on the support feature. This is something it's very, very important to us. I feel like it's more important to us than it is you guys really. But if you've talked to me on the phone, or I've given you a demo account, or we've onboarded you, one of the things I will tell you, or in fact, in some cases beg you, is please, please, please do not struggle with this system. We've built it to be as intuitive as we can possibly think. We're not perfect, and we're working all the time to make it more intuitive and easier, and continue to build out features that are clear and easy to use and train. But if you can't find something, again, this is I pushed a lot of information out in the training sessions and even today in the Lunch and Learn. If you can't find something, you know it's there, you can't find the video, or the video isn't clear enough for you, please don't struggle. Hit the support feature. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and click new support request, and just fill out the description here and the subject line, and then shoot it off to us. There's 3 people that will get a text notification on our phone when you hit save on this screen or send on this screen. Me, Roberta, and Ashley. And it's kind of the first person that can get to it gets to it. So today I have meetings the rest of the day, so Roberta and Ashley will be on top of it. Tomorrow, I know Roberta will have a couple things going on, and I will be taking care of some things. Last night, I answered some of these at 8, 9 o'clock right before I went to bed. So hit us up here. Let us know what you've found. If you have questions, comments, concerns, anything you have, let us know. The other thing that is really, really important is suggest a new feature. And if I've talked to you, I've probably already told you this, but if I haven't, this is important, really, really important. We will not build a feature unless it is suggested or asked for by one or many of our current clients or potential clients, such as yourself. So the more votes something gets, the more requests it gets, then the higher up on the list it goes. Sometimes they're really easy requests, and so we just throw them in, even if it's just one person requesting them. Again, if people stopped using suggest a new feature, we wouldn't, we wouldn't know what to build next. We wouldn't know what's important, and so we encourage you to use that feature so we know what you need and what you want. We can't promise that we're going to build everything you send in, so please understand that. But again, it's important to us to know how you're using it, why you're using it, what you need. I'll give you a really great example. When about this time last year, a little earlier, when COVID really started slamming into the travel industry in a really impactful way, we had several things that we were going to build, and we were really excited about it. In fact, the email marketing tool, we had planned on launching it before the end of last year. And when COVID hit and really hit your industry, we had a lot of requests. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? What about this cancel thing? What about insurance protection? All these things bubbled to the top. And what we did was we just said, okay, we're going to pause everything we're building now, and we're going to go back to the suggest a new feature, and we're going to start calling people back, and we're going to build out these things to help people to get through this COVID crisis in this industry. And so we pivoted overnight and just started building stuff that would help people through that, cancellation type items and insurance protection type items. So yeah, we really encourage you guys to use that feature. All right, anything else?
Nope. I just want to say two things very quickly because I'm getting the same question over and over. One is, will this be recorded? Yes, we've recorded it. We will be sending you a link so you can view it. The other question is, what's the next step to set up? And so I'm trying to answer those really quickly before we cut out, but just send, if you chat me your email, and or phone number, or whichever way is best to reach you, I will pass that to Travis or Roberta to then do those next steps of getting you signed up. And Travis, you did mention that free trial thing, which whether it was a promotion or not, it is now because you mentioned it earlier.
That's right. So. I did now, like it or not.